Hey guys, welcome to Uncle Skinny Reviews, the number one movie review show in the world, in the internet. And I am the host. I am Uncle Skinny. It is my show, and I'd love to welcome you to. We are trending. We are number one in movie reviews. We have a massive show today and a little treat. We're going to be doing a double feature on today's episode. We are experimenting with the new format. Every week, I think I'm going to do a current movie, and then we're going to kick it back and do a classic review. And I have a special guest as well to do that with. So we're very excited for today's show, and it's going to be a doozy. Housekeeping notes, as always. Last week's video, I asked for some movie recommendations, and I got a lot of recommendations, and it would seem that most, if not all of them, were more of these Japanese animated films that were sexually charged. I'll just say it, it was Japanese porn, animated porn. And I got through about 60 of these movies, then I looked at the rest of the titles and I kind of put two and two together, and it's all porn. So I love you guys, the Uncle Skinny family, but I am setting an official Uncle Skinny decree that it's not allowed anymore. No more of these Japanese porn movies, because it's ruining me. Also, last week, I sent out a message, erroneously, that if you are a female, to get in touch with me, and I got several messages, and that seemed to bite me in the ass, too. Because I asked for a woman to contact me, and it wasn't woman, it was these little teenage boys pretending to be women, and trying to fuck with me for a lark, and it's not funny. I don't think you realize how alone I am, and how desperate I am for a woman's touch. So cut it out, or you'll be banned from the Uncle Skinny show reviews. I will make a mandate that you were banned to watch them. That being said, I would like to say, on the brighter side, I did get in touch with a young woman named Amanda. And she lives in Indonesia. We just were chatting online. She sent me a photo. And I gotta say, come on, guys. She's looking pretty gorgeous. Right? Am I right? That's Amanda. She lives in Indonesia. And her brother is a rich prince. But he's in trouble and she's in trouble. So I've been sending them money. I've probably sent them about $5,000 already. And I just kind of... every week it seems they're asking for more money. So I might start a Patreon channel just to raise some funds to send it to them so we can be together, because I do love her and she is the love of my life. So hopefully I can put up a Patreon and you guys can subscribe to that so I can give the money to my future wife, Amanda, who lives in Indonesia. On to the reviews. First up, we have Wrinkles the Clown, available to stream on Hulu, 2019 documentary film. First documentary on the Uncle Skinny channel, from Michael Beach Nichols. Wrinkles the Clown follows the story of Wrinkles the Clown, an older guy who started dressing up like a creepy clown, making appearances in Florida, and putting stickers everywhere with a phone number attached to it. People would start calling and even hiring Wrinkles to come scare their kids, and it spurs this sort of mythos about Wrinkles the Clown. Yeah, this is a somewhat interesting topic, I suppose, and the footage involved is okay, but this movie quickly took a turn for the worst. Instead of showing more of this footage, there was a lot more of these kind of staged sequences that were incredibly cheesy and very hokey that drew me totally out of this film. And ultimately, it's just kind of uninteresting. You get the gist of what this movie's about within the first 5 minutes, and it never goes anywhere from there. That's the movie. You can tell that the filmmakers are desperately trying to fill in time to say they've got a documentary film by doing these stupid stage sequences and then doing like, oh, evil, creepy clowns and pop culture and talking about, the Amityville horror clown or the Joker, etc. But they only scratch the surface, even if you could call it that. They never really get into any of that, and they don't even mention like John Wayne Gacy, who in my opinion would be the bigger fish in that category of pop culture creepy clowns that you could refer to, especially because John Wayne Gacy is a real story. Wrinkles the Clown is a real guy. But they don't do any of that. And at some point in time, the filmmakers, you can tell, are trying to deliver that clinch, that sort of catch, that aha moment in the documentary to really sink it. And that move is completely ridiculous. I don't really want to give spoilers, but I kind of just feel like I kind of have to. Throughout the movie, we're introduced to who Wrinkles the Clown is. We get to follow him around and see his day-to-day life. And then the aha moment in this film is that it is revealed that the person we've been led to believe is Wrinkles the Clown is not Wrinkles the Clown. It was an actor. And then they give the real Wrinkles the Clown and they censor him out, and his voice is altered. And so it makes this documentary film just fall apart at the seams, because then it becomes not only just ridiculous, but almost utterly uninteresting and almost frustrating. There's no substance at all in this film, and as far as documentaries goes, this is one of the worst I've ever seen. So Wrinkles the Clown, frankly, is getting a 2 out of 10 from me, for just being a very poor example of how to do a documentary film. Joining me for our next review is my good buddy Daniel Watts. Daniel Watts, one of the co-founders of Coexist Gaming, based here in Brooklyn. It's an event, it's a community, it's a party. There's food, there's drink, there's music, there's dancing, but more importantly, there's video games. We're talking modern video games, the old classics, Capcom versus Marvel, Halo tournaments, and some cool virtual reality events too. Basically, it's a safe haven for gamers to get together and have a lot of fun. So we're going to shoot over to Daniel and talk about Street Trash. Street Trash 1987, directed by James Muro. B-horror comedy from the late 80s. Super low budget, but a lot of fun as well. Street Trash tells the story of several denizens in the streets of Brooklyn as they get a hold of a mysterious hooch called Viper, which a liquor store guy finds in his basement, starts slinging it for $1. When people consume it, they start melting into colorful goo. So here to talk to me about Street Trash is Daniel Watts, and we'll cut to that segment right now. Well, folks, there appears to be some technical difficulty, and I apologize for that. Basically, to sum it up, both Daniel and I really enjoyed this one. We thought it was a lot of fun, unapologetically profane and obscene, but really charming. We talked about how there was campy humor consistent throughout, but as it goes on, it gradually gets a lot darker. We talked about our favorite scenes in the movie. One of my favorite scenes, because I think it captures the spirit of Street Trash, is when a homeless guy is peeing and he gets his dick chopped off and they play keep away with it, and it's set up like a Three Stooges skit, and you can see how both it's super dark and kind of fucked up, but it's kind of brought out to be very comical and silly. We talked about some of the disturbing scenes in this movie, like a young drunk woman getting gang raped to death, And as vicious as that sounds, and it is vicious, it has this surreal juxtaposition in the context of this film. Sort of like a Last Exit to Brooklyn, a book by Hubert Selby Jr., where it's sort of these vignettes of these different street characters and the greasy things they do and get up to in the streets. Talked about some of the great things about this movie, too. Daniel pointed out he loved the music, the sound design of this film. I talked about how for a low-budget B-movie, the camera work in this is phenomenal. Daniel actually even pointed out that Bryan Singer, who went on to direct The Usual Suspects, was actually a production assistant in this film. So that's some fun trivia. And Daniel was talking about how he was, this movie was recommended to him by a director friend who loved the movie for its kind of campy gore. Even though there's not a whole lot of gore, as Daniel also pointed out, it's more like these globs of paint and people melting and the cheesy, campy special effects, but it's a lot of fun. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and Daniel gave it a 7 out of 10. And we had a lot of laughs. It was a great interview, so that's a shame. Well, to wrap it up, guys, this has been Uncle Skinny Reviews. Thanks for watching. Check out next week. We're probably going to continue this format of double featuring it up, and maybe we'll have a special guest next week. Who knows? Keep on sending those recommendations, and you could be a guest on Uncle Skinny's Review. If you would like that, reach out to me. You know where I'm at. Take care, guys.